Hello, welcome to Student Mini Grant Writing. My name is Tracy Herlitsky and I will be your facilitator for today's event. We're going to walk through how to write the best DPI AODA mini grant project possible. We're going to talk about recipes about how to cook up success for your project and create healthy and safe schools and communities. There are two ways to walk through the grant writing process. One, you would watch this video in its entirety and then work on your grant. The other option would be to pause the video and finish that section of the grant. Let's get started. Let's start talking about student mini grant requirements. The student mini grant projects need to be student-led, student-written, and student-generated ideas. They need to focus on alcohol, other drug abuse, or other risk behaviors, and they need to be educational. A grant can be written for up to $1,000. The application and reviewer benchmarks are available on the Department of Public Instruction website, as you can see on the slide. The student mini grants are due into each CESA office by 4 p.m. on Friday, October 7th. Hard copies only will be accepted. No late applications will be accepted, so please get them in on time by 4 p.m. on Friday, October 7th. The CESAs will have 2 weeks to have their reviewers make recommendations to the Department of Public Instruction, and then school districts will be notified around Wednesday, November 23rd. All projects must be completed by May 30th, 2012, and final claims must be submitted to each individual CESA. All right, now it's time to start cooking up our recipe for a successful grant. Now would be a good time to get out a copy of the actual application or access it online. So the first thing we're going to start off with is the general information on the top of page 1. This first part is pretty simple. Just follow the directions. The name of the school, address, the administrative contact is a principal or someone in the office. The advisor is an adult that will be working with the students. The student contact is that student who's willing to be responsible for being the contact. Does not mean that they do all the work, but that they will be the lead contact person. The student organization is whatever student group is working on this. For example, it could be an 8th grade class, or a SAD group, or a peer mentoring group, whatever group is working on the project. And then the signature line is really important, and that is the signature of the superintendent or principal of the building. All right, moving on to the bottom of page 1. If we were aligning this with our recipe for success, this part would be the part where we decide what and how to cook. Some people find it helpful to do the project abstract last. They go back and review their grant and summarize using the 5 W's. Who will the project be for? What will the project be about? When will it take place? Where will it be held? And why are you doing it? Answer those 5 W's and it will complete your project abstract. Moving on to page 2, question 2. Describe how the idea for this project was developed. The questions you want to answer under this part is who had the idea? How did other students get involved? How was it planned? Was it at this workshop? At another meeting? During class? How were these ideas finalized? If we were cooking, this is where we would decide on the ingredients that we want for our recipe. Continuing on page 2, question 2, let the reader know how you came up with the program idea and how students are involved. Emphasize how students lead the projects. Remember, you are the chefs or the cooks of this project. Moving on to question 3 on page 2. This question is where you address what problems at your school this mini grant project will work on. Describe how this project will help prevent or reduce student alcohol, tobacco, other drug use, alcohol traffic safety, or other risky behaviors such as suicide or mental health. What are the problems or issues at your school? How do you know that there is a problem? What evidence does your school have to support your problem statement? This could be a student survey, such as the Youth Risk Behavior Survey. It could be an observation. It could be incidents that you might have witnessed or known that have gone on in your school or community, whether that be bullying or exclusion or violence. And anytime you can compare this information to county, state, or federal data, it's very helpful to the reader to know that this really is a problem in your school. And don't forget to address how your project will help prevent this problem. Turn to page 3. This is the action plan for your project. This is where you detail the actions that have to be taken to achieve your goals. You need to name the activity in the first column. The second column is who is responsible. This could be the student group that you're working with, an adult advisor, other students or adults in your school or community. When will it be done is the final column. All projects need to be finished by May 2012. If we were cooking, this part would be like our cooking methods, such as frying, grilling, baking, and for how long. One thing to be aware of when you're creating your application electronically is that only a certain amount of text fits in each of those boxes for action steps, who is responsible, and when will it be done. So your group needs to be very clear and concise in your actions, responsibility, and when it will be done to make it fit into the boxes. The other thing to be aware of is it's better to plan a series of events or programs than it is to try to do everything at a one-time event. Question 5 on page 4 asks you to describe how you will measure your successes in addressing the problems that you described earlier. This is a very important part of the project not to be forgotten at the end. We want to know how you will know if your project made a difference. Some ways to evaluate your project are to do a pre and a post test, or maybe you could make some written observations from students or teachers, observing changes in behaviors on the playground, in the lunchroom. We also want to know the number of people that participated in your project. It could be a completion of a survey, what the students learned, what they will do differently, or it could be interviews with teachers or participants in your project. If we were cooking, this would tell us how our food tastes and how we will know. Question number 6 on page 4 wants to know who and how many people will benefit from your project. Some examples of people who might benefit might include students who are planning the project, participating students, teachers, parents, and community members. If we were cooking, this would be how many people you will feed and how will they benefit. On to the last page of the application. Question number 7 asks about your budget. The maximum budget for this project is $1,000. The budget does not have to equal $1,000. Don't ask for more money than you need. List items, purpose, cost for each expenditure. This is your best estimate based on the information you have right now. Don't spend everything on food. The speaker rate is a $800 maximum, and you cannot purchase equipment. Please remember that your budget must match your goals and your plan, and keep expenditures for food and other stuff to a minimum. Question number 7B asks you to list any local contributions to this project. 20% of the grant total must be matched by local contributions. So if your grant is for $1,000, you need to have local contributions of $200. Some examples would be the use of a school building space, your advisor or teacher's time, volunteer contributions, travel costs, photocopying, supplies, or any donations that are given to this project that you do not have to pay for are considered local contributions. That's it. You made it to the end of the project. A few finishing touches would be to ask somebody who's not familiar with your project to read the entire proposal and ask them, is this clear? Does it make sense? The other thing I like to do is to go and read the grant reviewer benchmarks and pretend like I'm rating my grant to see if I answer all the benchmarks that they're looking at. That's all. Good luck. That's it. Good luck and have fun. I can't wait to see all the creative ideas that you come up with. Please remember to submit your applications to your local CISA by Friday, October 7th. Thank you.